Hello, Steeler Nation, and welcome to your Steeler Nation Vidcast, part of the Big Play Vidcast Network and sponsored by Total Sports Enterprises. I'm your host, G.Stryker, and the Steelers are officially now have a running game, guys. Steady improvement over the last 4 weeks, being over 100 yards per game since the bye week. Another strong game on the ground last week against Atlanta. We're now 3-4 in those games. So that was the problem the first half of the season, not having the run game down and working yet to our benefit. Now that we're in control of the run game, we're controlling time of possession. We got more rushing yardage than the other teams. So that gives us the ball more. And of course, if you have less turnovers than your opponent when you're controlling the ball, you win more games than you lose. Hey guys, got Instagram up over here. Obviously, we're over here on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter. This is your show, guys. If you got questions, if you have comments, I'm here to answer them. Have a fun time with it. That's what we're here to do. A couple things that I wanted to talk about, at least. Josh Roundtree had a nice stat from since 2016. He tweeted the Steelers are 35-2-2 when running the ball 29 or more times in a game. So super impressive in that stat line. Only 2 losses. Of course, getting our 2 ties, though, for some reason in that respect. But when you're controlling the ball, stretches out games, less time of possession. That's how you get some ties. Spanky, how you doing? What's my honest opinion on Matt Canada's play calling? Was not a fan of all the jet sweeps early on in the season. I still have an issue with him managing yardage as opposed to trying to make plays down the field. Bruce Arians, we were always making plays down the field. Same thing even with Haley. Haley was more ball control attack with the passing attack, but would make plays down the field as well. It's just like we're just starting to get into that situation where we're starting to make some plays down the field. Connor Hayward with that great play and catch for the touchdown. Had a chance to do it with DJ as well. A nice catch and run, too, with Muth. I think the play calling is looking better now, too, Spanky, just because our running game is so strong now. And it helps a lot. Because if our running game was still trash like it was in the first half of the season, everything that we did would just be trash. And that's what happened. Like, we couldn't do anything. I went into each game the first half of the season just being like, when we were on offense, I'm like, well, we're not going to put up any points. Here we go again. It was fun while it lasted. If we get too many turnovers up, but we're already down by 10, then we're not coming back in this game. Now I feel we can come back. If we're down by 10 now, I feel that we honestly can come back. I think Canada still has some room for improvement, but he's starting to improve as it is. And if we run the table, it's going to be because of him. He's going to be a big part of that. So thank you for the question. Keep them coming too. Coming over, guys. Got you all coming in. Michael Hall, we are live. Let's go, Stryker. Let's go. Michael Hall of Fame. Great to hear from you as always. Robert, wish Cope would come back. That's what happens when Stryker stops drinking. Cope doesn't come back. That used to be my old handle over at SteelerNation.com. It's Football Forum. Free to join. Now I go by Stryker, obviously. Cope being a moderator over there, giving me some shade. Glad to see more passes to Freiermuth, but Pickens needs to get more targets. Yes, he does. And that's a big thing that I'd like to talk about here a bit on the show. Too, and I'll get to that just right in a second. Where did I have that listed for Mr. Pickens? There it is. First thing I want to say about George Pickens, you want more targets? Run your routes 100% every damn time and get open. That's why DJ's getting 10 targets a game. He gets open. Yeah, he's the safety blanket for anybody in our offense. He's the X receiver. He's getting open. Sometimes the passes aren't there. Sometimes the passes hit the ground. But you got to play for your next play. That was something I was always taught in high school. You make a mistake, you play for your next play. You play for your next play no matter what. If you're not in it, if you're blocking on one side, they're running the ball on the other side of the field, don't get down. You're playing for the next play now. Get back up. Over here on Instagram, we got the cat cam. You always get to see Lexi chilling out here. She is very Stryker starved right now because I have been gone for a while here down in Louisiana visiting my brother since he's a blacksmith for the Louisiana Renaissance Faire. Was getting to have a fun time as a Celt over there and having a good time. Walter over here, how about first to 500 regular season wins stat? That would help. That first to 500 regular season win stat. We need 2 more wins. Stack 2 more wins. We're at the Mendoza line. And then it's the sky's the limit, I hope. We'll have to see how it goes. El Drake Iron City Beer. We're taking the next 5 games. Now, it helps out a lot, guys. Lamar Jackson is down. So that's a big, big plus for us being able to not only, well, we're going to compete in the game anyway. We have Lamar Jackson's number for some reason as well. We defend him very, very well. But it does take a little bit of his athleticism out of the game. I do like Huntley as well. I think Huntley gets the ball out a little quicker than Lamar Jackson does. I think he's better at his short area quickness passing than Lamar Jackson. But Lamar Jackson was a much better downfield thrower. Excellent arm on that guy, and can't take that away from him, obviously. And Randomin says, do you think Pickens would want to be traded if he never gets passed to? Not going to happen. Not going to happen, and I don't think he wants to either. I think Mike Tomlin is also handling Pickens very, very well because from a coaching perspective, you don't want your people to be down because you need to play for your next play. We need you in the next play. Next play, it might be going to you. And they ran that 2-yard out to him. Sure, I mean, yeah, it got him a play, but yeah, he wanted to play for his friends and family. That's where he grew up. That's where his college field was. So he was expecting a big game. Obviously, this game's going to feel a little harder on him, not getting targeted as much, not putting up the numbers as much. If he does that at home in Pittsburgh, I'd be upset because he's not going to be playing in Atlanta for another 8 years. We're not going to be playing there. They're going to be next 4 years. They'll be back in Pittsburgh. Another 8 years, we'll be back there. So if he's still on the team then, hopefully he has a big game there, unless he trades to somewhere else. But I did love how Tomlin loves his competitive spirit and wants a player who cares about getting better. And that's one way to handle it. He took all of the pressure off of George Pickens, which he had to do, to tell you the truth. To be a leader, which Tomlin is, leader of men, taking care of his wide receivers, didn't throw him under the bus. I know coaches that would have thrown a player like that under the bus, a young player, trying to still get his feet under him in the NFL, still trying to find his first 100-yard game, be a big part of this offense. I know, oh gosh, guy I always follow over on that does the Asked and Answered over on Steelers.com. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on his name, but I love his Asked and Answered columns. He was defending him up and down, saying he's the best offensive talent on the team, which to me, it's off the charts. I mean, that is a speculative statement. He has the potential to be the best offensive talent on there, but Najee Harris by far is the best offensive talent we have. To me, it's Najee Harris, number 1. Number 2, our other Pro Bowler, Deontay Johnson. Then Freiermuth. Then Pickens. I got him at 4. I think he has the potential to be number 1, but it's up to him how good he wants to be. Absolutely is. Michael Hall, going to you. Let us honor this life of Falcons defensive player, Reggie Grant. He will never be the same again after getting head dunked on the ground by Najee Harris. This is why I love Najee at 100% after the bye versus Najee at the beginning of the season playing hurt. When people are like, I don't think that's not. Well, we wasted a drop pick. Why do we get this guy? Now that he's healthy, spinning off of people, hurdling over people for touchdowns, and putting a hand in their face and throwing them to the ground again. That's our Najee. Strong, elusive, fights hard for every yard. We're seeing the Najee that we knew we had, and he's doing a great job, not as timid. It's tough to play injured. As a running back, you know you're getting the ball. You know you're going to get hurt. Not hurt, but you know you're going to get hit every play. So, honestly, much better there. Vittorio, who do you think Kenny's backup will be next year? Do you think Trubisky takes a pay cut, or do they bring in another vet? Well, good thing about this one, Vittorio, is Trubisky is signed through next year, and his contract is awesome. Just like for this year, he was supposed to make around $14 million for being a starter. When he's not a starter, he gets closer to like $7 million, 7 or 8. I've got to relook at that just to make sure. Very, very savvy contract and better a value than we're going to get from anybody else in free agency next year. Much better value. Unless we want somebody like Baker Mayfield, which I don't think Baker Mayfield is a leg up on Trubisky. I think Trubisky's a better quarterback than Baker Mayfield. Now already going on waivers midseason on his third team. Now paying 3 teams already paying for him. I think it's like $1.5 million that the Rams have to pay for him. Carolina already paid $3.5 million for him, though he did take a pay cut as well. It would have been more this season, but he volunteered a pay cut going to Carolina. So Carolina obviously gave him his release when he asked for it. That was a nice thing for them to do it. And then, of course, Browns are still paying $10.5 million. So everybody's got a hand in the pot there. Michael Hall, once again, should have been at 30-plus point game. Yes, we should be scoring touchdowns instead of settling for field goals. But I did like having 4 out of 5 of the first drives ending in points. That's what we're starting to see out of this Matt Canada offense, which was a dumpster fire first half of the season. Ciao, ciao, Dad. Hey, Stryker. Lots to like in a game. How about Najee with that stiff arm that face stuff that DB in the dirt? Yeah, we all love that one, Chow Chow. Awesome to hear from you again, man. Believe I'm the one that said after the bye week, next 3 or 4 games will be win. Bengals will be a problem, and I was right. Yep. How are we doing the next what do we got left now? 6 games? 5 games or 6 games? But how are we going to do these next couple games here, Michael Hall? You let us know. Hopefully you say we run the table, so we will. Chow Chow. PH3 showing the punt we kept him on this team for. And that's the thing that I love about Presley Harvin III. Like, his best game so far for Presley Harvin III was the first game he ever kicked for us in the preseason. He kicked the ball. First one, he downed like on the 1, just like that one, and it back spun and stayed out of the end zone. He did a knuckler that hit the receiver, the player, and bounced out. So we got an extra possession out of that one. He did a high skier, so there was no chance at a return in right at the 20-yard line. I forget the 4th one that he had, but he was just absolutely amazing in that game. I've been waiting for that punter to come back. But that punt, awesome. Like, we didn't even need a punt team. It spun backward on its own, would have been down on the 2-yard line at 3 or 4 by itself, but fortunately we were able to get in there and stop that play. Steeler Nation from Brazil! Viva Brazil! Great to have you here on the show. Good luck to you, obviously, in the tournament that matters here at the World Cup. And we're really rooting for you guys, rooting for Argentina as well to advance. Can't believe Morocco. What a crazy day today, guys. Don't know who all follows World Cup, but that's the thing about at least international soccer that I love, World Cup. I'm always up on World Cup. The other leagues I don't get as into, but a little bit of Bundesliga I'll follow because Dortmund is the same color as the Steelers. That's how I pick my teams. I'm a Dortmund fan because they're black and gold. So, but yeah, love to see Brazil still in it. They got a chance to win another one, and they've been playing solid in all their game. Minuti, are we a 3 pieces to make playoffs next season with or without Canada? Are we a 3 pieces to make playoffs next season? I'm not sure what you're asking there, with or without Canada. I mean, obviously, our offensive production is going to determine whether or not Canada stays on this team. If we improve through the rest of the year, we win out, he's on the team, no matter what. Pieces-wise, we're going to need offensive linemen, and that should be handled in the draft and hopefully high in the draft. So we'll have to see how that one leans out as well. Michael Hall, I'm hoping Pickens won't turn into AB, not at the momentum we are building up right now. AB is a different kind of guy, though. Like, AB came into this league super humble, working his tail off, best work ethic on the team, Jerry Rice type work ethic. And he didn't start losing his mind until multiple hits, getting older, getting that second contract, and then just kind of going off the rails, throwing Gatorade coolers on the field. That's when Steeler fans were like, why did you just throw a Gatorade cooler? Because he was wide open down the middle of the field and Ben missed him. That's when the diva started. After that, he was happy making plays and all that, but he lost the MVP voting to Juju Smith-Schuster, who's the reason why Juju Smith-Schuster was the MVP, because he took so many targets and pressure off of him. That tandem would have been amazing to stay with for another 2 more years. If he finished out his contract here with Juju, he would have put up sick numbers instead of tearing off shirts, putting out bad videos to get fired from the Raiders, and of course doing stuff he shouldn't be doing to get fired from the freaking New England Patriots as well. But that's the way it goes. Looks like Derrick Henry ain't the only number 22 with a nasty stiff arm. Hell yeah. Michael Hall, Lamar will be out 2 to 3 weeks with a knee injury. It's a PCL injury, guys. That's the posterior cruciate ligament. You got 4 of them on your knee. It's the one on the backside. That's your posterior. ACL is the big one. Posterior is the strongest one. All of your other ligaments kind of help that one out. Good that it's that one. You kind of get that one usually when you get a knee hyperextension. So I can at least tell by the way Harbaugh was interviewed yesterday. You could tell by his demeanor and the way he expressed that Lamar Jackson is week to week. You could tell in his face that he knew he wasn't playing the Steelers this week. And that weighed on him. So happy to see him not playing against the Steelers. So we can at least come along and have one game without Lamar, and then hopefully he comes back later on. Spanky Johnson, Dotson and Moore need to get better on the left side. The penalties are killing good drives. Absolutely true. Absolutely true, especially when you're trying to keep this running game going. Got to go. 100% with your list. Thank you very much there, Minuti. Appreciate that. We're going on Instagram as well tonight. No doubt Najee was disrespected with a stiff yarn. My goodness. When will we see William Jackson? Excellent question there, Yins. Something else I wanted to get to. Let's talk about the injury situation here quickly. We had the presser today with Mike Tomlin. Chooks hurt his shoulder in that game, but he came back in, so he finished. So I'm still expecting him to play. He might be held out for a practice or two, but if he came back in that game, he should be back. Watt with his ribs. Watt is not playing like Watt, but he's not going to be held out for bad ribs. Ribs is a pain injury, not a debilitating injury, but he did not look the same last game. I expect to see more explosion this week. Of course, Ogunjobi and his toe is still an issue, but he's been working his way back with that toe every week, it seems like. So I expect him to be back again this week, even though he banged it up a bit. So as far as the IR is concerned, both Chris Boswell and William Jackson III have the ability to be activated starting this week. They've served their 4 games on injured reserve, so they can come back anytime now. Now, their health has to be the determining factor for them to get back in at Yins. But so far, Mike Tomlin has not alluded to the fact, or at least when asked about it today, did not say that he's ready for having them or expecting them both back, but also hasn't heard back from the team doctors to see where they are in their rehabs to be able to come back. Also have this moving train going on. We always hear how he says that. So it's going to be harder for Jackson to get on the moving train. Though with Witherspoon still out, he's got a chance. But I am also happy on the way that Wright is kicking butt after his first terrible game. He's been doing nothing but just launch rockets and split uprights. So I'm happy to see Wright in here holding pace until we get Boz back. And in my opinion, wait till Boz is absolutely 100% before bringing him back, because we don't have to rush him. We've got a good kicker on the roster. I don't think he's going to cost us a game until Boz can come back and win us games with his bomb and leg. And we need that bomb and leg back too, especially back coming here for the playoff runs and that. So Michael Hall, congratulations to little Hayward for a touchdown. And it was an emotional one for him. And Cam, whose father played for the Falcons. Yes, good old Craig Ironhead Hayward. They visited their father's gravestone the day before. Very emotional game for the Hayward brothers, who by far, both of them excelled. Hayward with the only sack for the defense, Cam on the defensive side, little Connor catching the only touchdown for the offensive side, and that was the difference in the game. Game ball to both of them. Hayward brothers, game ball. Both of them had a great game for their father, and kudos, and how just emotional and fun. Like Cam said, he lost it. He absolutely lost it on the sideline emotionally when his brother scored. Like, that's huge. Actually, Alex Kozora put out a a video on his Twitter today, and guys, go over to his Twitter. He's freaking awesome to follow. Of Ironhead Hayward's first touchdown in the NFL. He found it, and it looked a lot like Connor Hayward's touchdown. One of those dropping up the seams over top of the defense, dropping it in the bucket. He caught it closer to the front end line for the touchdown, right at the end zone line, whereas Connor was a little bit farther in the back of the end zone, but getting his feet in before going out of bounds. But still, awesome game for the Hayward brothers. Also wanted to state, too, for Hayward getting nominated again to be the team's nomination for the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award. Jerome Bettis, who won it previously, got to come over to the practice today. There's a great video up for that as well on the Steelers site for Jerome Bettis talking about community service and then thanking and getting to tell Cam Hayward that he was up again this year. And it's by far the Hayward House, all he does for the community. He deserves a Walter Payton Man of the Year Award. And I hope this is the year that he gets it. Chow Chow Dad. Sorry. The first one. Huntley is similar in style to Jackson, so better but not easy. Yeah. Minka had me cracking up. They interviewed him. Why he didn't try to score. He said, I didn't want to go back in. Win and go home. He's a winner, and he's smart. Like, you don't have to put yourself in position to get hurt. He's our guy on defense right now. He's killing it. He's the best player on defense. He and Cam until Watt's back 100% from that rib issue. But it takes a full month. If it's an intercostal injury, that's 4 to 6 weeks he's going to be playing with that pain, and it sucks. I've had it happen before. I actually jumped off of a moving boat 2 years ago, and it was dumb. And I sprained an intercostal muscle, and I was feeling it every time I breathed in heavy, coughed, or sneezed. Sucked. Absolutely sucked for like a month. The worst. Miles Stryker, DJ needs to stop dropping balls. And we also need to do a better job of feeding Pickens. Truth and truth. Great to see you back, Miles. Michael Hall, 5 games left. Ravens might be a problem. But for us, could pull it off like last year. Panthers, I'm expecting an easy win. Vegas might be a sleeper team. They still took down Seattle in overtime 2 weeks ago. Great points. Rob Cooley, man, 5-0 to close out our regular season. Love to hear it. Damn, someone beat me to the WJ3 question. Yep, you being the former Cougar, the big Houston aficionado we have over there for University of Houston. Robert loves his Cougars. Loves his Cougars. So much so he even dates them. He makes sure those Cougars go home with somebody. Like, you technically can't be a Cougar anymore, though. Or you can't date a Cougar. I guess a Cougar would have to be like 80 in your case for them to be dating a younger man. Old man Cooley coming to the show. Chow Chow Dad. Kenny's doing a good job spreading the ball around. Red zone's still too fast for him, but improving. The biggest thing still, here's a crazy stat. Another one Alex threw up on game day. Steelers have never gone in the history of the Steelers. No matter who the quarterback was, no matter who the offense was, we have never gone 4 games without turning the ball over. 4 consecutive games. This is a new team record for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers have never gone 4 games and have never turned the ball over. We had a couple oh-no moments with Sims on that muff punt. We got DJ fortunately dropping that ball so it wasn't a turnover. That's the one that I'm happy that he dropped. Otherwise, that was a turnover if he took another step. But 4 games and counting. We do a 5th. Keep it riding. That's the one thing that I love about Pickens, though. He really takes it personally and does a great job to make sure that they are doing whatever they can to keep him successful. He's smarter on the edge, not forcing it downfield, lobbing it out of bounds when he has to so he doesn't lose yardage. Love that about Pickens. And that's the stuff that we want to see. That's you never see that in a young quarterback, guys. Rookie quarterbacks do not do this. Rookie quarterbacks turn over the ball, which we saw the first 7 weeks. 7 interceptions. Hasn't thrown interceptions since. Weather's getting colder. It's tougher to play. He's getting better. This is why we were so excited about drafting Kenny Pickens, because he was an out-of-the-box, ready-to-play quarterback. Ready out of the box. And he's showing it. Getting better every game, smarter with the football, better decisions, getting better at reading the offenses. Now he's starting to go down the middle of the field. Now he's starting to take plays down the middle. So this is what we're starting to see. Junk Nippin, can we honestly win out if Lamar sits both games? Sorry if you've answered this already. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Definitely can win against the teams that we have better records than. We've definitely though we match up well against Lamar Jackson, guys. This team is built to beat the Ravens. That's the way we've always done it. We are very good against mobile quarterbacks, especially when we have everybody back and Watson there. We are very good against mobile quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson gets sacked a butt ton too. You guys remember last year, we were putting on the ground like 5-6 times a game. That's going to be a little different with Huntley. Huntley's a little smarter about getting sacked, but I don't think he's as smart at throwing the football. I think he's going to make some mistakes here, being forced into some throws here early, and we'll have to see how that works out. But that's the thing that's going to be the difference between Huntley and Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, we'd have more sacks because he gets flustered. He doesn't look down the field. He tries to run out of it. Bam, he's on the ground. That's what our defense does well. So looking forward to seeing how they can attack Huntley. Huntley's going to try to get that ball out quickly because that's what he does. A lot better than Lamar Jackson does, of course. I'm out the wrong way. Any chance if we see Dobbs again? Lions release him next season. Dobbs is released. He's a free agent. We may pick him up for next year to have an extra quarterback out on the because he knows the system. Probably not going to have Rudolph back. Just from the way it played out, probably a time for Rudolph to move on if he cannot get in here to at least see what he can do. When's Boz coming back? I just talked about that earlier. He's eligible to come back now, but we're not taking him back until he's 100% because we need that groin 100% to kick those big ones. Crowd on that Mink pick 6. That's it, Phil. Absolutely right. That was a home crowd. The crowd was loud before when they snapped the ball. Steeler fans were screaming on defense, and then when the interception happened, they went nuts. Absolutely nuts. It sounded like a home game. Absolutely sounded like a home game. We did an awesome job traveling at that one. Ciao, ciao, Dad. Kenny doing a good job spreading the ball around red zone. Still too. Oh, yep, we talked about that one. Oh, that's right. Calvin Pittman. Hello, Calvin. Good to see you again, my friend. Hello, Stryker. What was the deal with Chicago for Claypool? We got Chicago's second-round draft pick. Their second-round draft pick, the one that slotted to Chicago, not the one that they got with the trade with the Baltimore Ravens when the Ravens picked up their linebacker. We got theirs. So right now, I think it's sitting at 32. I think it goes Houston's at 32, so they're at 33. So in normal years, that is the first pick of the second round. But since Miami lost their draft pick for interfering and trying to grab Sean Payton as their head coach when they had Flores and that whole cluster F that happened, cost them a first-round draft pick, which means only 31 teams are drafting in the first round. Or there's only 31 picks in the first round. So technically, what normally would be the first pick of the second round, we now have. Keep losing Chicago. I'm rooting for Chicago every week to lose. I want Claypool to have a good year. He won a game for us. Absolutely, that game that Trubisky came back with Claypool. Claypool won that game for us. 2 long third down conversions, getting the last score, winning that game. I mean, I love Claypool when he is here. And I'd love to see him continue to do well. Just don't win any games for Chicago. Manuti, Brazil and Argentina, it's like Steelers and Ravens always. That is like one of the all-time matchups. Exactly. And I love watching it. If that ever happens, like Brazil and Argentina playing any South American country as well, but that is the GOAT. That is the all-time number one matchup, especially with Messi still on there this year, being his last year. I'd really look forward to seeing that matchup if that comes to fruition here in the knockout rounds. Nick, 10-7 all the way. That's what I called at the beginning of the season, guys. 10-7. I'm still on it until we mathematically cannot do it. We in the hunt. Yes, we are, Riz. Michael Hall, Ravens again expecting Lamar to come back, but maybe not as 100%. But expect our defense to take advantage. Might pull off by a field goal, and the Browns could be also a sleeper team, take down Tampa Bay and overtime. Yeah, they could be. So, everyone, hey, Robert, good to see you again, my friend. Possibly 3-2, but hoping we go 4-1, 5-0. Honestly, for us to have a chance chance of the playoffs, I honestly think we have to have 10 wins. Just because there's so many teams in the playoff hunt that have the tie break against us. Jets, Miami, Buffalo, New England. Every team in that division. We lost to all teams in that division. So we have to do a better job down the stretch. If we win out, we have to be a game up on those teams to have a chance coming in. They're going to start beating up on each other now since they're going to start playing each other more often. So that's going to knock them down a peg. But hopefully Buffalo runs with it and the rest of them get to beat up on each other. Steelers playing D much more than O is to be able to carry the O this year. Yet there has not been real D dominance this year, especially in the second half. Well, they're doing a better job now, Robert, when they are controlling time of possession, which is something that I know you've mentioned earlier with the defense always being on the field. If we're not controlling time of possession, they get gassed. We just played 2 games in 6 days on a short week and swept. That was our first stacking of the wins this season. 2 games on the road, short week. We did it, controlling the ball on offense, allowing the defense to be the defense. They played well enough to beat both of those games as well. Ian! How you doing, Ian? Good to see you, old man. Hi, Stryker. We must get touchdowns instead of field goals. I will give the kicker credit. He did a good job. And you're damn right about that, too, because now that we're getting to the point of the season, like, we're going to start, if we get to the playoffs, you're going to see teams that get touchdowns instead of field goals. Your Kansas Cities, your Buffaloes, even your Tennessees, even your Baltimores and Cincinnati's. Whole AFC East, it seems like, gets more touchdowns than field goals, especially when they get down there close. But that's what the Steelers have to do a much better job about. And that's what I want to see. We're already establishing the ground game. We're getting down there now. We're putting up points. Let's start getting more touchdowns than field goals. That is the room for improvement moving forward here in our next 5 games. And I think if we improve in that area, we'll be hitting the playoffs. All Steelers captains except Cam are not playing. Real failure of captain choices. All Steelers captains except for Cam are not playing. Let's see. We had trying to think of the special teams captains, because it's not DJ Watt anymore, or Derek. TJ Watt and Cam are the captains. Both of those are playing on defense. Offense, I know it's Trubisky, and who was the other one? Was it Najee? It wouldn't have been Claypool. Who would either be Trubisky and Najee, I believe, would have been our captains on. Yeah, they were. So Najee's still playing. So it's a little bit off there. Miles, 1 target for Pickens is just absurd. I know you say the offense is looking better, but we still aren't grasping the touchdowns are important. Yeah, but I think we're going to start working him into the game a little bit more. You could tell by his body language that he was upset. He didn't say anything. He didn't go over to the quarterback and yell at Pickens, throw me the damn ball. He didn't throw a fit on the sideline and throw a Gatorade cooler. He was sulking. His body language was down. That's understandable to me. Absolutely. As long as he's not dogging it out there on routes or on a block, he's still in the game. He's just disappointed on the way that he was supposed to be targeted with his family and friends from his college in the stands, because that's what he needed. Guys, make sure you like and everything. You're doing a great job over on Instagram. Like us, follow us. Obviously, you can follow me at SN_Stryker, STRYKER on all the platforms. Nobody else wants that, so I took it. Vlad, hello from Ukraine. Hello, Vlad. Stay safe, my friend. We are all rooting for you, sir, and rooting for the big fight against the Russians. Stay safe. And hopefully this whole thing will be over as quickly as possible, because it affects the whole world. It really does. But glad to see you're a Steeler fan as well, because we could take Steeler fans from all around the world. Manuti, we're going to draft best player available again, or offensive line. Well, I was worried about being in the top 5 because BPA would have been a QB. There's no way we're taking a QB next year, no matter what. So BPA doesn't work in that situation. What does work in that situation is being in the ability to draft one of the top 3 QBs and trading down a couple spots to bank maybe another first rounder or another great pick. That's what that aspect would be the best for, unless there's a can't miss offensive tackle or great defensive player right there that we have to take. But we're going to be in a spot. Well, right now we're in a spot to take somebody good like that. If we keep winning, we might not be in that spot anymore. But we play to win games, guys. We're Steelers. We don't tank for Tua. We don't suck for luck. We're the frickin' Steelers. We play to win. We don't hope to win like other teams' fan bases. We expect to win. Our expectations are always to win. And so far, Coach Knoll, Coach Cower, Coach Tomlin have never let us down in that respect, getting us more wins than not. Roman, I'm a Cowboys fan. Welcome. We welcome all fans. I've got a bunch of Buffalo fans, Ravens fans, some Cleveland fans that show up on these shows as well. We're happy to talk NFL football. I take crazy questions as long as they're not politically. I don't take politics. I keep my fun and my love of football out of politics. We all have our own political views, but for football, we all love the black and gold. Though, Cowboys fan, you're going to love the white and the star and the blue and silver. Is that what it is? Blue and silver. Is that technically your team color or blue and gray? I think it's blue and silver. But still, I do like your colors. And I like that we got to beat you in 2 out of 3 Super Bowls. But wish we ran the table. We did not. Just the way it goes sometimes. Robert, on a positive side, D-line rotates, O-line run blocking well. Plus, Najee finally had his first more complete game all year, and Kenny interceptionless and continually improving. That's it. Well stated, Robert. And that's a league, or it's Pittsburgh Steelers record since 1933. 4 straight games, no turnovers whatsoever. The Steelers have never done that. That's an amazing stat to me. That's just a crazy one. Miles, when asked about touchdowns, Canada asked, what is that? Nice. Manuti, Wright will have a job on another team next year. Yeah. I mean, hell, Kansas City loved him enough to make sure he's on that roster too in case anything happened to their starter. Michael Scott Jordan, what's up, Striker? Where has this run game been all season? Took a while for us to learn the scheme. It did. And it, Foster was saying on his podcast over at DK Pittsburgh Sports, he was expecting this, the offensive line to get this after 4 games. They didn't get it until after the bye, but they've got it now. They're doing a fantastic job in scheme. They're hitting the guys they should. They're hitting them aggressively. They're making first punch, first contact. And that is the biggest improvement. Our double teams are much cleaner. We're getting push. And Najee's healthy. Like, all of that all together has made sure that our running game has been so much more improved. Michael Hall, Lamar doesn't just want to see number 90. Good luck if you're guarding him. Yeah, I'm trying to remember there. Well, left tackle is Stanley, and he's hurt. Don't know if he's going to play. Who's their right tackle? I'm going to look at their right tackle right here. Morgan Moses is their right tackle technically right now. Big guy, 6'6", 330, and he is in his. He's been in the league for a while, since 2014. So the guy knows how to play. He's a savvy vet. We'll have to see how we do against the savvy vet coming up. Riz, the Steelers need to pass it to Pickens. They will. It's coming. Well, what's up, fellow Steeler fans? What's up, Ra? Grab him just coming through. Hines should make Hall of Fame this year. I did the stats last year. I did metrics for amount of receptions, where you are, like, and I gave a numerical value, first, second, third, for all, like, I think there was like 5 or 6 wide receivers slotted. Yardage, receptions, touchdowns, amount of times making the Pro Bowl, and first and second team All-Pros. Plus having that extra factor of being a Super Bowl MVP. Ward has the best metrics of all of the receivers that were eligible last year. And he didn't make it to the finals last year. Because there's some that have more. But across the board, he was like either a 2 or a 3 or a 1. I think he had more touchdowns than anybody last year. That was up for the award, or up to be in the Hall of Fame. I think he will get in eventually. I don't know if he's ever going to get in as legit. He may get in on when they drops down to the older bracket, and people will be like, "There's no way this guy shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame," because honestly, he needs to be. He changed the game, and he played it. He played football the way it was meant to be played, hard nosed. Robert, if Steelers run the table 10-7, slip into the playoffs, which is the only tournament that matters in the NFL, then who, Stryker, do you predict the Steelers would play against? Well, we'd be low. Definitely would be low going into the tournament. Kansas City, probably, who we played the last time we were in the playoffs, and that didn't go very well. But hopefully we could do a better job. Michael Hall, we invaded Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It is what we do. Truth. Derek, what up, Stryker? I think the line is starting to work together and gelling. Of course, Derek, definitely is. Guys, it's that time on the show again. For Manscaped. You need to help out your junk. To Manscaped, it's not junk at all. It is the most necessary thing we have to take care of. Go over to manscaped.com, get their platinum package. It comes with the lawnmower trimmer, the weed whacker ear nose trimmer, ball deodorant, body wash, 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner, boxer briefs with a little sack to keep your pouch nice and dry, and a travel bag to keep it all together. Go get Manscaped. Over at manscaped.com, use promo code SteelerNation, all one word, all caps. 20% off your order, free shipping. They care about your balls as much as Kenny Pickett. He's not going to give those balls away for nothing. He's going to take them and keep care of them and keep it nice and clean. Only give it to the people he wants to. That's the way Manscaped is too. Manscaped.com. They help change your player into an MVP. Yeah, you know me. You down with MVP? Yeah, you know me. Manscaped. Love that one, guys. This is the first helmet. Oh, right behind me? Yeah, that's the first helmet we had. Was the old yellow one. Then we had the numbers on the helmet here. That's a John Henry Johnson number 35 helmet. Then we got the old yellow helmets when we first started experimenting with the steel logo. And then, of course, we got the regular black and gold one. To the other side of that one, the normal helmet that we wear now. It's slightly bigger. It started off as a smaller logo and has gotten slightly bigger. But yes, that is the helmet progression. Now I got to go back to see where we were at here because I've got to get to your questions, guys. There we go. There we go. Now I see you. Versus a 17-0 team that loses its first playoff game cannot say had a non-losing season. Well, we see. We can lose one more game and not have a non-losing season. Deal with it. A new era in black and gold history has begun. That is, it's the Kenny Pickett's era. And welcome to the show, Dill. I haven't seen you before, so I know my people, and I'll remember that name. Always happy to have you. Russ, Steelers 10-7 could get in as a wild card team. Just wish our conference record was better, especially the tie breaks. The AFC East has to start beating up on each other, so they start getting knocked down a peg. Derek Robinson, what about Pickens' tantrum? I wouldn't call it a tantrum. He didn't yell. He didn't jump up and down. He didn't throw a Gatorade cooler on the field. He sulked. That's not a tantrum. That's being upset. First time, I can let him go because it's a coaching moment and a teachable moment. I expect Tomlin to use it as a teachable moment. Tomlin took it all off of Pickens. He will not throw Pickens under the bus. A young, talented receiver. The sky's the limit on his ceiling of his ability. I just expect him to be better than Claypool. I expect him to be better than Claypool by the end of this season. If he keeps working hard. Claypool was the hardest working receiver we had on this roster before we traded him. Pickens made Claypool expendable. Now Pickens has to show that he can put up better stats than Washington. Washington did less with more as our Z receiver. Horrible stats. He's got to show me he's better than Washington right now before he can get up to Claypool talk. Tamburo, simply win one. One single playoff game in the season is all it takes to legitimately call that season a non-losing season. No. It's tough to win in the playoffs. To have a winning record in the playoffs, you have to make it to the championship games. It's the only way you're going to get 2-1. You got to get to the Super Bowl. Because if you lose out to there, that's the only way you can get a winning record in the playoffs is to get to the championships or the Super Bowl. That's it. You lose out in the divisional round, you have a 500 or a losing record. Just the way it is. It's a stat that I've never been on. Killebrew! What about Killebrew? Oh, Killebrew was the other he was the special teams guy. Yeah, you're right. Thank you. Yeah, is he still hurt? What, I forget about what Killebrew's been doing. Win 2 playoff games in a season, and that will be the minimum definition of a winning season. Yeah, we want Lombardis. You're definitely right. We need Lombardis, Timburo. Derek Lore, welcome back. What's up, Striker? I think our O-line is working better, and what a stiff arm by Harris. That is a healthy Harris breaking out the truck stick in Madden. Love seeing that. Love seeing him dishing out the pain instead of taking the pain. That's what I love to see out of him. Dill, back again. And how blessed are we, the black and gold, to hit twice in a first-round quarterbacks? Ask Cleveland how easy that task is. I didn't do it at pick 20. And without having to give something up to move up, go steal it. You're right. And guys, look at Wilkins. Willis. Sorry, Willis. Like, has a terrible quarterback record. His completion percentage is around 50% or less. I think it's under 50%. I think he only has 1 touchdown. Or no touchdowns and interception, I think he has. He's not doing well. He's not reading the field at all. And that's just the way it is. Fire Dumlin. We're not firing Tomlin anytime soon. Keep pounding with Najee. Hell yeah. We all love our Najee. Robert, backup safety is a captain. Trubisky is backup safety is the special teams captain. He still starts on special teams. If it's Killebrew, he's still a starter. Special teams is still teams because he's the special teams captain. It's not like we have, because backup safety would be like KZ. Because otherwise it would be, so Boz is the captain. No, I didn't think, Boz is not the special teams captain this year. Najee has not been the Steelers' best at his possession yet than the other captain, but he has this year, since the bye week, he's definitely been our guy. Michael Hall, I read on Facebook that one of the Steelers fan pages that Najee Harris used an Infinity Stone from Thanos' Infinity Gauntlet on Reggie Harris to send him down to the Shadow Realm, and I completely lost it. I love that. That stiff arming with the Infinity Gauntlet. That's awesome. I think I only saw that out of Vance McDonald on that stiff arm that poor Tampa Bay defender out of his ACL, unfortunately. But 75-yard play, money ball. That was an awesome play. Sorry, I meant Reggie Grant. Gotcha. Yeah, we know who you're talking about. Ian, I like that the Pickens has that fire to win. I hope that offensive line gets that fire back. Me too. Miles, Joey Porter's son, Joey Porter Jr. declared for the draft. I think he's going to be our first-round selection. He's a cornerback. Don't know. He's big. He's lanky. I think there's better options. But I think he's going to be a good player. I really do. TJ has not played most of the season and is a captain. What? Come on. He's been hurt. If you're going to take it away from, we give the captain on day one. Day one, they were all starters. We don't change captains throughout the week as we go down. You can lose your job to injury. You can lose your job to play. That happened with Trubisky with the play. It happened with TJ Watt with injury, but he's back now. You said now. Now the only person that's not a captain is Trubisky that's playing on our team, because I was confused on the way that was worded. Striker, your DJ has let us down on the field, while my DJ Watt is 5 for 5. I love DJ Watt too. Yeah, well, if you're talking about Derek Watt, right? For catching, that's awesome. Yeah, I like that. I like that Derek Watt is actually getting targets this year because he's a good player. He really is. We got three top 50 picks. That's amazing. It might not end up being 3 top 50 picks if we keep winning here, but love it. Even if we finish 10-7, I don't know. Well, there's one less pick out of the first round. I'm going to count it up in the second round, because then we go to 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. So yes, the 19th position in this draft. It might be 18 depending on where Miami slits in. So 18 or 19 because they are going to get a pick in the second round. If you're in the bottom 18, you're in the top 50. So yeah, we do have a shot of getting 3, even if we're 10-7. Have a shot at it. Rams are so bad this year that they just claimed Baker off of waivers. We take the Super Bowl hangout over to the max. P.S. Steelers have never had a Super Bowl hangover that bad. All winning season and a 500 season. True. Third, be around 55 or so. No, third pick. Oh, you're talking about the third pick, which would be the second round pick. That could happen. That definitely could happen if we're in the playoffs. But if you can still make the playoffs at 18, right? Because the top 16 go into the playoffs. 32 minus 16. Yep, 16. Yep. So yeah, so 17 and 18, you got a chance of still making the playoffs and still picking in the top 50 this year, right? Stryker from Miles, how have you been watching Big Ben's podcast on YouTube, Channel 7? He's been going full game watches with old and current Steeler players. He just had James Harrison on. Definitely check it out. I do want to check it out. It looks like it's a fun podcast to check out. I just haven't had time to do it yet. Minuti, Sutton needs to stop with the drops too. Well, at least he's making plays on the ball. I love seeing that out of Sutton. And he's going to make more plays than not. He's a good player. Land, out of Derek Watt, Marcus Allen, Devin Bush, and Cameron Sutton, who do you think the Steelers will re-sign? I might be missing somebody, but I don't know. Out of all those guys, Marcus Allen, I think, is gone. Bush as well. I think we may offer him a lower contract like we did with Edmonds. He's going to look to try to get paid in free agency. I don't think we're going to give him a pre-free agency contract or an offer. We're going to let him play the field. And if he's not happy, he'd be coming back for less. 5-6 mil range, I'd take him. Absolutely would take him again. Derek Watt, I'd like him back. I don't know if he's worth that 3-4 million range because that's what we pay top special teams players. He's not always, he's got some injury issues where he misses part of the season, seems like each year. But to keep TJ happy, he might be the guy you have to sign. Might even get JJ next year too. JJ is a rookie or as an undrafted free agent as well. Try to get all 3 brothers next year. That'd be awesome. And Sutton, I think, is probably the one you try to get the most. He's the most diverse piece we have. He can play slot. He can play outside. He can play safety. Guy is amazing. I want Sutton. Out of those 4, it's Sutton. So he's my top guy. The other 3, if they walked, I wouldn't be as upset. Honestly, wouldn't. But Sutton is a cornerback we developed. Keep him. Sign him again. Robert, Miles Killebrew is the Steelers captain. Yeah, yes, he's still playing, and he's still a starter on special teams. Miles press grades, maybe, and he also had 2 blocks blocked 2 punts for us. So I like that guy. Maybe now that Ben is the realm of podcasting, you could possibly have him on for like the draft night or something. Hell, I'll go on his podcast. That's fine with me. I can run the board. I don't even have to talk. I do anything for Ben. Love Ben. Scott, welcome back to the show, Mr. Punswick. I believe Austin needs to let the dog out of the cage. Robinson needs to get some snaps. Them big hits hurt when the weather gets nasty. Hashtag let that do great. Awesome, Scott. Unfortunately, Austin will not be playing at all for this year. He's on IR for the rest of the year because he was on IR for the first part of the season. We brought him back on the 21-day window. He was not healthy, got another injury. He's lost for the year. He had surgery as soon as we put him back on. This is a redshirt year for Austin. Robinson has been a game day inactive. We need somebody to get hurt for him to come up. And so far, Jack, Spillane, and Bush have all been active for these games. And Marcus Allen, who's the other one, who's our big special teams ace. Robinson hasn't shown that he can play special teams yet. That might be that switch, too, over there, Land 3M. Robinson might be taking Marcus Allen's special team spot for next year. So that would be a reason to not keep Marcus Allen if he's not on the team. It's because Robinson progressed to the point where the Steelers think they can slot him in on special teams and have him be active on game day, whereas Marcus Allen had been active and playing those special teams for us this past year. Robert, you all revere Ben and Juju and poo-pooed me saying Coach T coddles players and does not teach them. Now, Ben confirms that Tomlin coddles his players, and Juju has doubled down that he is not taught, and you ignore. What is, these are just feeding a narrative, Robert. You can go out and find all of the things that you want, but everybody that's played under Tomlin that has their podcasts, you talk to Ryan Clark. Did you see the Pivot podcast with Mike Tomlin? You had 4 guys that played in the NFL. One of the guys played for Tomlin. The other 3 didn't. The 3 that didn't wanted to play for Tomlin. This guy's not a bum. He's not an idiot. And you don't get this good in this league by being an idiot and not understanding football, Robert. I mean, that's the narrative I just cannot get on, that Mike Tomlin doesn't know football, or that he can't teach, or he can't coach. It's wrong. Nobody else has ever gone this far in the beginning of their careers with a winning record. Nobody. Since 1921 or 1919, whenever the NFL first started, Dayton Triangles playing the Chicago Cardinals. Come on. Nobody's done it. And these are like back when there's 8 teams in a league where you should have somebody destroying every year. Never been done. Never been done. Miles. So give credit where credit's due. Miles, Pickens' emotions were justified. Wasn't a tantrum. He had family and friends watching, wanted to make them proud. Exactly. I will be at the Panthers game in 2 weeks. Awesome, Jeff. I will be there too. Come to the Steeler Nation Terrible Tailgate, which I'll talk about here at the end of the show. We're in lot 5A at 8 a.m. on 1 o'clock game days. So that's Caddy Corner, on the corner closest to the Pirates Stadium. Caddy Corner from that. That's where our Steeler Nation sponsored Terrible Tailgate is in each week. This week it's $40, guys. If you're going to the Ravens games, giving away a signed Color Rush Cam Hayward jersey. So come on over for that. That $40, you get free buffet, open bar. We got beer bongs. We got beer. We have not cider. We have seltzer. Beer and seltzer. Seltzer sponsored. So come on over for some drinks and some fun. Talk to us. Scream at me and call me over, because I love meeting you guys too. Say, Stryker, come here, because you'll see me there. Hopefully I'll be nice enough to wear my suit in that, but we'll have to see. Now I lost that one there. There you go. Stairway to 7. I hope so, Anthony. Honestly hope so. What do you think about cornerbacks? The ones currently on our team. I like what we have with Sutton and Wallace and Witherspoon. I think that the Austin has done a good job. Our defensive coach, Austin, has done a good job at putting them in positions to succeed. I think Justin Lane has done a phenomenal job in his spot duty that he's been able to play. Also having Jackson on this team, both Jacksons, the one that practice squad Jackson, who's the cousin of Revis Island, and William Jackson III, who we wanted to draft, being on IR, hopefully coming back, hopefully being able to contribute, has a chance to be a number 1 as well. We have a lot of guys in the mix that we're taking flyers out on. We'll have to see how they go. Robert C. Who's this Robert Taburo giving Roberts a bad name? You guys are both great. Everyone is opinionated, and we love it. Love it. 1 win in a playoff game, minimum definition of a non-losing season. That would be the definition of a playoff non-losing season. You look at playoffs, then we only have like 4 winning seasons, I guess, right? The one where we win Super Bowls, get to AFC championship games. That's about it. Point is, Tomlin credits are not demanding Lombardi or he sucks at all. We simply have been humiliated in the playoffs for 2 decades in a row now. Realize that is below the line. Me, hashtag trade Tomlin. And I do love that point about trading Tomlin possibly for multiple first-round draft picks. I think that's an interesting take, and I will always like that take, sir. Mr. First DMTH, what do you think about... Oh, I did read that one. Great. Yeah, we talked about that one. Why every year we lose to the Raiders? I don't know. It doesn't matter how bad the Raiders are. They always seem to have us. Michael Scott Jordan, if we stand right now, Kenny Pickett pick is making the Steelers look like they might know what they are doing. And he keeps getting better each week. I can't wait for his first multi-touchdown game. Just can't, because so far the NFL has not even really talked a whole lot about Kenny Pickett, even talking about him even being in Rookie of the Year talk yet. He's the only quarterback really doing anything other than Zap up in New England, but Zap's back out and they got Jones back in. He was just in there as a placeholder. Willis had a couple games, won one, lost one. Tell you, if Kenny Pickett runs the table, you're going to start looking at him getting more and more talk for Rookie of the Year. That'll be interesting to see if that's what happens. We'll have to see. Derek, my son likes to ask you a question. Are you pleased with Kenny Pickett so far? Yeah. Derek, tell your son, yes, I'm pleasantly surprised in his progression. If I had to think back at the beginning of the season, I wasn't expecting to see Kenny Pickett until after the bye, when the season started. We got Kenny Pickett early. We got him 3 weeks earlier than I was expecting to get him. He took his growing pains early. Did not play well before the bye. Since the bye, getting better and better each week, smart with the football, doing things differently. 1 week, he wouldn't look down the field when he was being pressured and starting to get out of the pocket. Now he's starting to look down the field when he's getting pressured and coming out of the pocket. Before the bye, getting hit in the backfield when he runs to the edge, taking a loss of yardage. Now, getting to the edge, it's not there, throwing the ball out of bounds, shovel passing it out of bounds, lobbing it out of bounds so he doesn't lose yardage. That's smart stuff. That's vet stuff. That's stuff we didn't see Ben doing until like 5 years into his career. But Ben could do the run around in the backfield and just like throw it down the field because he never took his eyes off of that. BTO, I don't see no more trade or bench Najee comments. Exactly. I told you all you'd be jumping off of that wagon, that anti-Najee train after the bye. Watching a healthy Najee is the way it's done. Yeah, it happens. What, Ian? Would it be nice if we could knock Cincinnati out of the playoffs? That would be great if we could, but we don't play Cincinnati anymore, unfortunately. We just have to end up running the table with the rest of the division, and then we may have a better divisional record than Cincinnati, and that is what would knock them out. So I'd love to see that, Michael Hall. Great call. Sorry, Ian. Michael Hall, a dream of mine is to have all 3 Watt brothers in Pittsburgh. If JJ becomes a free agent and is playing in his last season in the NFL, I'm hoping it will be with TJ and Derek, and it'll be a nice send-off. I do too. I would love to sign JJ to a 2-year contract because he is a free agent this year. Absolutely is a free agent. I'm glad that you got, I'm sorry that I haven't gotten to everybody. Like, I try to get to everybody in my cast. I know we're getting down here toward the end. It's 8 o'clock. I'll take a couple more questions, guys. Phil, we've been getting down the field pretty easily. Got to execute in the red zone. Major improvement from the beginning of the year, though. Definitely is. And something we've been talking about. I will be the Steelers-Panthers game in 2 weeks. Oh, yeah, you said it a couple times. Sorry. Hey, mate. Hey, Max. We are still making the playoffs, lad. I hope so. Really hope so. We need a shutdown corner. That way, we might be drafting one. Hopefully. Gino is a quarterback 1. Stealing is a crime. Facts. Win out. Worry about the draft later. Exactly, Amp. That's a great take. Love that one. Win out. The draft will fall where it is. Root for Chicago to lose. We'll have a great second-round pick, too. If you don't let me join, you have to eat pork. Oh, no. I'm not. I don't know what that would mean. I don't eat meat no matter what because I am a heart vegan right now. So all my eating choices right now are to make sure that they do that. My religion is not an issue with that because my religion, I'm allowed to eat whatever I want. I just support all religions. Black and gold is almost green and gold, which is my home country in Australia. That's a great one. And that's a good one to take there. Let Paul Malone join. I'm not taking any live videos because I've got so many things going on. JJ needs to be a Steeler. We need to get rid of Witherspoon. I'm not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater yet with the Witherspoon, but he should have been put on IR. He's been costing us a roster spot with that injury, and he should have immediately been put on IR. He's not faking an injury. I don't believe in that at all. Miles, that's why we got WJ3. Damn, it is. Yes, it is. Win out. Yeah, I don't think 9-8's going to do it too, Dale. I'm with you. We have to go 10-7 is our hope to make the playoffs. Just because we have so many tie breaks against us. Got to have a lot of teams start to do really poorly right now. Hate it, but them Bengals are the most complete team in the AFC. Scott, they are starting to play good. They really are. Everybody's allowed to have their opinions, and that's great. We give a voice to all of them. You guys know that. Michael Hall, another great vidcast, and always, boss. I'm predicting a 27-17 win over Baltimore. No more overtime that we did 2 times already. Same resort happens. I can't take any more of these games, but it ain't going to be without it. Oh, looking forward to that. Yeah, you're right, Striker. Hopefully, come draft time, we'll get some really good picks. Have a good night, Striker. See you next time. Thank you, Ian. You as well. My son, thank you for answering the questions and the question for them. Have a nice day. Derek, always bring the questions. Thank you and your son also for asking me questions. I'm happy to get to them, and I try to get to as many as I can, obviously. Stamps, need a new offensive coordinator. We'll have to see how we do for the rest of the season to see if that's going to happen. Amp, linemen had to get the reps in due to short preseason. Definitely did. And Morgan Moses is lunch. Yeah, I'm way behind on Instagram. Sorry I didn't get to all your questions on Instagram this week. I got to come back and just do a straight Q&A on Instagram one of these times. Maybe we'll do that on a Friday night or something after the podcast drops. And we'll talk. This is your last chance to get something in here, guys. And we'll talk about that. In the word of WWE Hall of Famer Hulk Hogan, take your vitamins, say your prayers. You will be alive at the end. Rip to the NFL. See you 90 and 99. Robert Tamburo, P.S. Striker, if you're a vegan, then you can't eat food, pigs because through may have wasp wing. Oh, and the figs because they may have wasp wings. Well, I'm not a ethical vegan. I'm a heart vegan, which means I eat food to make sure that my heart still works. Super high cholesterol. I will eat egg whites, though that's not. It just says vegan's easier for most of my food choices. Don't eat milk. Don't eat dairy products anymore. We'll still eat raw fish. Raw fish is still excellent for your heart. Thanks so much, Cooley. Appreciate that, man. Thank you, Miles. Appreciate it, guys. Go Steelers. You can't take gel cap vitamins without the jelly. Yeah, Jello, and I'll have to check to see how that affects heart stuff with Jello and jelly and all that stuff. But I've been kind of trying to avoid it just because I'm not sure of it yet. Salute, guys. Not even Jello shots. Well, I'm not drinking either right now, which sucks. That's been the highest part of that, my heart stuff. I've eliminated alcohol right now. I've been drinking some interesting non-alcoholics. Athletic has a really good line of non-alcoholic beers. Smash is the best tasting non-alcoholic beverages I've ever had. Only problem is it's $17 for a freaking 4-pack. So there's no way I'm buying them ever again. But my gosh, they're insane. I had a cider. I had like a crisp pale. I had a darker beer, and then another one was I forget what the other one was. All 4 of them were off the charts awesome. But I'm not spending $17 for a freaking 4-pack of non-alcoholics ever again. I just didn't know it was that until I got home and looked at the receipt. I'm like, damn it! Scott's hashtag Steeler Nation. Go Steelers. Thank you. Drink more from me, guys. Please do. Honestly, guys, that's all the time we have on the podcast. Sponsored by Total Sports Enterprises, part of the great Big Play Vidcast network. Make sure if you're subscribed to us over at YouTube/Steeler Nation, guys, you can watch me as I upload the podcast in real time. But if you want to ask questions, you've got to be a member of Steeler Nation. Go over to the Football Forum. It's free to join. SteelerNation.com. If you're on there, I've got the thread up right now. Cooley, I know, responds to that every week just about. Gives me great questions. And that's where I take the questions for the pre-recorded podcast. But you can watch it live as I put it up and also get to know when these things drop out so you can ask questions over on YouTube as well. We had our great Pittsburgh Steeler-focused articles at SteelerNation.com. Tweet us at SteelerNation, Instagram and Facebook, SteelerNation.com, or follow us on Twitter, the podcast at _SN Podcast. Or you can follow me, your host, Steeler Nation Striker, SN Striker with a Y, on Instagrams, on the tweets, on the tickety talks, all the main things that matter at SN Striker, spelled with a Y. Thank you for joining us. It's Steeler Nation Podcast, sponsored by Total Sports Enterprises. I'm your host, G.Stryker, rooting along with you as always. Dale, welcome to the show. Robert C., Robert Tamburo, everybody, guys, love you guys. Talking to you guys soon. But until then, as always, rooting along with you as always. Go Steelers! And I have my brand somewhere.